Thank you very much. Good afternoon or good evening, everyone. Peace. Trust, we heard. Leadership, we heard. Trust, whether it's a sensation, a feeling, a decision, or actually something you would build. Leadership is something you also build. But other than that, education, knowledge, integration, mutual understanding, compassion, the willingness to coexist, the willingness to decide, to be able to decide to coexist, and to live peacefully. Human interaction, relationships, passion, understanding, all these different elements and concepts are possible to achieve through music, actually, and doable through different approaches towards achievement and towards establishing a basic concrete foundation towards what peace is about. 2007, I promised to share good stories today because we do hear lots of bad stories on a daily basis, and it jeopardizes our ability to interact in one case. It jeopardizes our ability to decide to be able to develop, and development is a process, and peace is also a process. It takes time, it takes a decision, it takes efforts, but it takes also two things: facts and love, intellectually and morally. 2007, I managed to reach the rehearsal venue in Baghdad, across the notorious Haifa Street, where all the battles and fierce fighting are going on based upon ethnic differences, ideological differences, probably ethnic cleansing. I would allow myself to use this terminology at a UN building. There was some kind of an ethnic cleansing and almost a civil war where people were actually killed for their name, even. If you're in the wrong area with the wrong name, you'll be shot dead in many cases. So I managed to reach the rehearsal venue, and half of the orchestra managed to actually make it over there to the rehearsal venue. I'm conducting Mozart clarinet concerto. I reached the second movement. And then across the street, there's the Baghdad medical city, where the major morgue is there, where people had actually lost count of the dead bodies that are actually reaching the morgue and reaching the Baghdad medical city on a daily basis. What happens at the second movement of the Mozart? The opposite of that. The opposite of life. What happens is death. I could hear, smell, see death. The smell of dead bodies. And I'm sorry for being very graphic like that, but I thought I'll take the freedom of sharing that. The smell of the dead bodies made it across the street to the rehearsal venue. From that, 2008, 2009, a full house during our concerts. We created dedication, determination, and approach to life. And my decision, our decision, was how to beat terror, intimidation, brainwash, monopoly, through beauty, refinement, and civilization, and dialogue. From 9 families attending my concerts in 2008, I have 1,200, which is the capacity of the major concert hall in Baghdad at the moment, fully booked every concert, socially. 2008, I start with the higher level of Peace Through Arts, which I have founded and I'm president of. Peace Through Art was an initiative. Now it's a fully functioning entity. Out of 372 young boys and girls from Baghdad, 43 were intensively taught. They joined the Iraqi National Symphony Orchestra and they're fully paid. 43 individuals turned to professional musicians in wartime. Thank you. Refugee centers in churches after ISIS had somehow made it into Iraq, and a couple of mosques. I grabbed my cello. It's a 300 years old instrument, and I was sharing this with Akram this afternoon. It's actually older, probably 150 years older than the actual human rights convention, which made human rights even more important. That time does matter. Preventing extremism, being dedicated to building peace is doable through music, through self-empowerment, self-worth, self-realization, and improvement and development. This is doable through interaction, it's doable through integration, it's doable through the decision to be able to coexist and support each other. We all share the same concept here this afternoon, this evening. We go home and we think what peace is. There are good stories to share. Last TEDx in Baghdad, 5 orphans were trained for 2 weeks from being around the streets of Baghdad begging for money. They played their national anthem on stage before 900 people attending. Good stories are actually there. It's about what we share and how we share it. We share the dedication, the determination, and the power to be able to build peace and to sustain it. Because building peace is just a step towards what we need to achieve, but sustaining it is the real challenge here. When we talk about preventing terror and preventing intimidation, there are certain aspects that we can actually, there are certain actions that we can take in order to prevent that from happening. Our time now is a difficult time, and it's time to prevent good stories from being the major stories of every hour day, of our day-to-day lives every morning. Thank you for being, thank you for attending, and thank you for being so hopeful. We share inspiration and hope.